Good morning and happy Friday. It is Big Agent Meeting time. My name is Russ Laggan. I will be your host, and it is December 26th. I don't know about you guys, but I was celebrating Christmas yesterday. I had family over from all around the local area. I had a couple aunts and uncles, Dana's parents and her sister and brother-in-law. Got to cook Christmas dinner yesterday. By the way, made pork tenderloin and Cornish hens, just in case you were wondering. And man, I love that. Nothing more fun than firing up the grill on Christmas Day. And it's nice to have a decent warmish day considering I'm in Michigan. So today we have a show lined up for you guys after Christmas holiday edition. We're going to kick off with Ian Wheatley with KGCI Radio, as we usually do. And then we're going to bump over to Holly Mabery talking about Brokerage Brief and what's going on in the brokerage these days that you need to know to keep you up to speed. Then we have Brian Ellington, Chief Learning Officer with Ryan Rule, talking about Zillow Flex. We'll finish up the show and then get you guys back to goofing off and hopefully taking the rest of the day off and or returning Christmas presents and going getting something you want. That happens too sometimes, right? All right, so let's dive into Attraction Advantage, first segment that I like to do when we kick off the show. And one of the things that we did a couple weeks ago in the Fast Attract program is the segment I did, which is segment 17, talked about getting new agents up and running faster, right? So the onboarding process is something that you're going to make some promises. You're going to tell people what EXP does, and then you're going to potentially say some of the things that you do that are different and extra and other and important and different. And we want to make sure that we're delivering on those things in the first 90 days. So if you don't already have a checklist, there's a toolkit on Attraction that has some checklists on things to do to get people in and on and moving through the system faster. And of course, you've got your organizations have a lot of different things that they can do to help you take your business to the next level. So as we're starting this process with newer agents getting to EXP, whether they have experience or no experience selling houses, it's really important to make sure that they feel connected. One of the scripts that I added to the session a couple weeks ago was, my job is to make sure that you never feel lost. So if you ever feel lost, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to connect to, you don't know what your next step is, I want you to text me to call me. Just text me, call me. And the next time I have a segment open, if I have a 20-minute segment open in between meetings, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to give you a quick call and make sure you're going in the right direction or direct you in the right direction. See, here's the fun part, guys. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to do it all. You just have to be able to make sure you can direct them to the right resources, which includes our 1-800 concierge line. You know, Expert Care Concierge is there for you 24/7 to be able to help answer direct questions. And you have people in the organization and you have the broker teams. There's so many different ways that we can get solutions done that don't have to all be you. But it's good to be able to have somebody they know they can ask the question to. So make sure if you're going to bring somebody into EXP that you are a resource and they know they can text you, call me, and you'll help them get unstuck. Never want somebody going to sleep not knowing what their next step is and where they're expected to be or communicate with you next. So there you go. Free tip for Attraction Advantage. Make sure your people know how to communicate with you and make sure that none of them feel stuck. All right. So there you go. That's Attraction Advantage for today, January. That's fast, too quick. December 26th, 2025. Last Friday of the year coming up. Next up, we have Ian Wheatley with KGCI Radio. Take it away, Ian Wheatley.
Hey, thanks, Russ. Happy holidays to you and yours. I'm not sure what it is about this time of year, but is anyone else's biggest pain point here just being overwhelmed? The inconsistent lead flow, the admin work that we're doing, the AI-driven landscape seemingly we're struggling to keep up with. I don't want you thinking about trying to go through this period of the year alone, right? We are still on the air every day, bringing you the here and now and the strategies and tactics that you could plan your 2026 around. No more guessing, just clear tactical execution on KGCI Real Estate On Air. The nitty gritty, the stuff that makes you into a professional, not just out here looking like one. And failing all of that, maybe what we really need is just a laugh. Every day, a listener shares a story with me. It's the parts of real estate that you don't ever learn about in pre-licensing or you'll never get any CE credit for. It's that story you told at the holiday party. You know which one I'm talking about. Every week, I collect these stories and I share them on Tuesday on Real Estate On Air Live. It's called Real Estate Confessions, and it provides all of us with a little laugh about the reality of this business, and it keeps us all a little bit more sane. So this is the season for sharing joy. Share yours, message KGCI on Facebook and Instagram, download our mobile app, and I'll remind you to listen in on Tuesday for Real Estate Confessions, only on KGCI Real Estate on Air.
All right, there you go, Ian. Of course, KGCI rocking through the holidays, end to end, still playing. I don't know how you do that, brother, but thank you for making sure that we've got some good stuff available at our fingertips all the way through the holidays. All right, next coming up is Holly Mabery with Brokerage Brief. Take it away, Holly.
I hope you are having the most wonderful of holidays. With Christmas just yesterday, I've got a few other things underneath the tree for you that might help you as we look to 2026 and wrap up 2025 together. So first and foremost, I want to remind you about all the cool things we put together for you this year in the EXP Toolkits. If you go to the web address exptoolkits.com, you can see the buyer representation, the seller toolkit, the deed fraud protection. These are key pieces to your business that help you as you accelerate into 2026. Now, we also wanted to give you some things that would be helpful as you look at how you work within EXP. More than anything, CRM of choice, right? That new tool that we've rolled out that gives you choice of which tool you want as far as a CRM, whether it's Bold Trail or Lofty. Those are key things that we want you to be aware of. And many of you have made that choice, but we want to give you that update of what's going on. Also, EXP Pay. I don't know about you, but I like hitting the easy button, and the fact that money appears in my account automatically makes me so happy. So we've got a toolkit around that. If you're looking to grow your downline and bring people to our company because you're finding your success here, great. We've got a toolkit for that. And then finally, if you're thinking of starting a team in the new year, we've got Team Leader Academy. This toolkit is designed to support you as you go forward and build a better, stronger business with the help of a team. I love these toolkits for so many different reasons, but the updates to the business strategies, we can continue to really enhance what's going on. We're providing ongoing training and scripts, pricing, everything you can see. And this is a little snippet from the listing toolkit. But also, I told you about getting paid really, really fast. I love this toolkit because I like direct deposit. Yes, I can drive down to the title company, I can pick up my check, but if I deposit that check into my bank account, even from the mobile app, it takes a couple of days to hit my bank. I may have a hold on it depending on the size of the check. What I love about real-time payment is the minute I close and the closing statement goes into SkySlope, that check, I'm usually paid same day, within hours, and that whole check is available to me. So as agents out there, I love that ability to, if I'm making a big purchase, if I'm out of town, all of those things, I can focus on my business and keep going. And somebody else is doing the lift for me of making sure that my money's where it's supposed to be. I absolutely love that feature of this company, and I want you to be aware of it too. So the toolkit, it's right here, and it's very easy for you to sign up. Now, a couple of other things that I want you to be aware of, and these were gifts under the tree for you as well, are our EXP forms. We continue to lead the way, and I know every state has a different forms provider from the state association usually, whether it's .loop or zip forms. EXP, we provide SkySlope to all of you. This is our transaction management, but our forms library is in there. I know, for instance, I'm in Arizona, and the update to BrokerWolf has been a little bit rough for a lot of our agents. Well, I don't even go to BrokerWolf. I can write my full contract in SkySlope. I never have to touch the other forms. What I love about this is I can use the EXP forms, and they are easily available to me. So I just go to add forms. I've got all the libraries I'm a member of, and yeah, these are my libraries. And so I can go into the Arizona Broker Library, and I can add the forms, whether it's the listing agreement, the buyer broker agreement, whatever it may be. Now, this is the other thing. We upgraded our listing agreement not once, but twice just in the last 60 days. First, we rolled out the AI, or the artificial intelligence disclosure, basically letting sellers know I may use AI to stage my house, or stage your house, I should say. Stage my listing, your house. Anyway, what's important about this is we're seeing AI being used across all media and platforms. The lack of disclosure to sellers is concerning, and we wanted to be proactive in letting people know how we would enhance, either through virtual staging, helping us write ad copy for their property, all of those things. It sounds really elementary, but it's not. In this age of, is it real or is it AI? We want to make sure that we are very proactive in how we are labeling things, what we're using, and where. And then most recently, of course, we've added the referral fee disclosure. Now, this is a really hot button issue that has come out after the NAR meetings last month. The board of directors failed to pass forward, and I should say the delegate body failed to pass forward that we would have this disclosure. Well, many states, including Washington State, has already done it. California is on its way. But we wanted a very simple referral fee disclosure for you to let people know how the compensation you're charging is being split. So you only use this when you are paying a referral out or back to the referring agent who sent you that client. You just give them the name of the company and the amount. The other thing I want you to know is the consumer choice form. We dropped that here in the last 45 days. And what I love about this form is this is something that we have always done naturally. We've always recommended more than one service provider, whether it was a lender or a home inspector, maybe even your closing company, title, escrow, etc. What we wanted to do here is actually have a form that was so easy, you could just rinse and repeat, and it was right in front of the consumer. Now, I know many of you may be working with a particular service provider that asks, hey, I need you to refer me all the time. Okay, great. I'm going to refer you. I'm going to have proof that I've referred you. And also, I'm going to show and be able to show to my clients other service providers for them to consider. It's a lovely reminder of how we comply with the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, better known as RESPA. And this is something that I just want you to have in your toolbox. Finally, on time, on demand. This is what I love, is we get to show up for you and continue to drive value in so many different ways. Of course, as we go into the new year with workplace going away or sunsetting back in August, we wanted to make sure you had access to your state teams in every way possible. At us.exprealty.com, you can access your state hubs. This feature is something we've built out over the last couple of months for you, and we're always going to be refining. As we move into the hub, we will be connecting these state resources for you. So what I love about this, and this is just an example of Florida, you get to see all your brokers, you get to see who they are and their wonderful faces, but also how to contact them. And then we've got the tools from across your state, whether it's connecting on Facebook, going straight to the state room in Frame, or basically if you want to look at the different toolkits, we've got a link for you there. Also, past classes. What's so important to us here at eXp is we're making sure that you've got access at your fingertips to those things that you need. What I love that Leo always says is we're going to provide the platform for you to build the business of your dreams. We're invested in you and your success. And here's to a 2026 that's going to be outstanding.
All right, Holly Mabery, thank you very much. Always adding value. Thank you for that after Christmas special information. Thank you very much. All right, next up we have Brian Ellington, Chief Learning Officer, and Ryan Rule going to be talking about Zillow Flex. So check this snippet out.
You talked about having the right people on the bus to go take a new hill, so to speak. Is it, which is the cart, which is the horse? Is it, man, I really want to be in that zip code, and let's go find somebody who can be there, or I've got somebody great who understands that area, and now let's go to Zillow and get that new zip code?
Yeah, great question. I think you can do it both ways, and we did it both ways, where we knew that there was zip codes that were very strong and emerging, and like I said, with Columbus, Intel, and there's Google here and Facebook, and a lot of things that were happening from a business and kind of commercial standpoint that we wanted to capitalize on. So we went after zip codes that way. And then also we had agents that we knew would be strong in certain areas. And we were able to kind of leverage some of the great individuals that we already had as far as team members and agents, and go after zip codes that way also. So we played both sides of the fence on that.
Okay. And You said you were a Premier agent first, and
Yep.
a bunch of people I've talked to who were Zillow Flex, that was the case. Do you feel like if you had not been, you probably would not have landed your Zillow Flex account?
For me, 100%. Yeah, the relationship was so when we were Premier, I was actually got to a place, and like I said, I was able to build a great relationship within the people on the Zillow side, and I got introduced to some speaking events, and went out to Seattle and was on some of their panels, and basically anything they asked me to do as far as that type of stuff, speaking, traveling, I did it. And then I was able to just build some great relationships. And then once the Flex, we were one of I think the first Flex teams that Zillow ever had, and the first in our market. So when that kind of came around, and Columbus was one of the options for that, they came and offered it to us. And I'll tell you, like it was tough in the beginning. That's what I'll say too, is you got to really figure out the right team then, because it went from a paid campaign to a referral based that the agents were going to have to share in some of those numbers and that part of it. So there was a lot of agents on the team that really didn't want to be part of the Flex team because of the referral accountability based platform.
You find economically that Flex makes more dollars and cents for you than your Premier?
Yeah. If you run the numbers, I would say you got to really kind of be you have to really dive into what your splits are and all the numbers, and really look at those things, because they are going to make a huge difference on how you operate and how you're able to run that and get agents bought into it. It's a very culture based type of platform that everybody's got to be bought into. But 100, for us to, I think I ran it with our success manager one time, and our current campaign is, I think it was like $180,000 a month is what it would cost if we were paying to get our current campaign.
Good night. Yeah. And do you think part of the economics also have to do with team member accountability and conversion of the leads? Meaning, if you're paying so much out of pocket up front, you may not have the same level of conversion discipline and accountability as you do with Zillow Flex, where they're metricizing the world out of you. Has that been the case for you?
Yeah. I will say it's again, two sides of the coin, right? It depends on how you look at it, what story you tell yourself. For me, it's been great because it's made us look at conversion and look at analytics differently, to where, like you said before, we were profitable, but were we really diving in the way we now do to the pipeline, to the numbers? We weren't. We were closing deals, we were profitable, but I wasn't holding agents accountable the way that we do now. I wasn't looking at numbers the way that we do now. And Zillow's pretty good at just giving you some of those analytics that we weren't looking at before, right? They're a data company, right? They know numbers, they care about numbers. And when you kind of just buy into that from that side of it, it's helped us with other parts of our business, right? They're not our only lead source. So we've kind of adopted some of the practices we're doing there into other parts of the business.
Yeah. I had a coaching client when I was coaching who was top team for a big brand that she was with, and she was spending an ungodly amount in Premier. And my coaching to her was, you need to stop that. You need to go get a Flex account.
Yeah.
And she had sort of limiting beliefs, and also, come on, the agents don't want that sort of accountability. You mentioned this too, that not every agent on your team is part of the Zillow Flex. What's the difference, do you think, when you're bringing somebody in to the team? How do you know, okay, this is the individual that I should have on my Flex account versus this is just somebody I should have on my normal agent team?
Yeah, great question. And it took us a while to figure that out. I would say you got to be super upfront with, I call them agreements, not expectations, right? We write agreements with the agents instead of what an expectation is, because sometimes expectations are different, right? Depending on who's looking at who, to where an agreement is, we're going to put it down on paper and we're going to sign it and agree to it, right? So I would say, for Flex, it's different. We had, to this day, some of our top agents, right? They don't want to necessarily answer the phone, jump in the car and go show a house, right? They don't want some of those accountability measures. It's kind of like anything, right? If you've been with a company for 20 years, you don't feel like you should necessarily need to do some of the same things that, a rookie might need to do. So some of my agents that are top producers, we thought would really gravitate to it. And we're like, no, we're not jumping for a phone call or a showing, to where, some of the younger, newer, a little bit more hungry, if you will, agent kind of gravitates more to this platform and honestly works out a little bit better. The Flex agents, I would say, that do really well for us kind of remind me as myself. When I first started, there's not much I would not have done. If you told me I needed to go knock on every door in a neighborhood, I was going to go do it, right? Yeah. If I was told that that's the way to be successful, I was going to go and do that. So they're just a little bit more, I don't know, motivated maybe is the right answer. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but sometimes, some of the more established agents, certain lead platforms are not something that's going to be forefront in their business pillars.
All right, there you go, guys. That is one small part of a larger segment that Brian did with Ryan. And if you guys want to check that out, jump on the EXP YouTube channel, and you can type in Brian Ellington and type in Ryan's name. And then that'll give you the ability to pop into that full podcast, and you can watch the thing end to end. I hope you enjoyed that segment about Zillow Flex. All right, next up, we have Alyssa Specht, University Spotlight. What's going on in University? Alyssa, take it away.
What's up, big agent meeting? Alyssa Specht here, back once again with your EXP University Spotlight and all of the sessions that you can expect coming up next week. My friends, we are closing out 2025 strong, and we are setting the tone for an incredible 2026. So let me give you the rundown of everything that you can expect next week, starting with Monday. Monday, let's take a look at Level Up. We are back again with Livia Petro. So we are kicking this off with part 2 of one of our most popular topics. She is a top producing Orlando realtor. She is a team leader, and she is a creator with over 44,000 followers. And she's going to break down her full video strategy from that, taking that clip on your phone to creating a funnel. She's going to tell you how she generates hundreds of leads every single month. Guys, if social media is part of your 2026 growth plan, this session is a no-brainer. Now let's take a look to Friday. We're back with another big agent meeting. You all know what to expect here. You're watching now, but my friends, next week on BAM, Leo Pereira is going to sit down with a true industry icon. Chandra Venepusa is an entrepreneur, an investor, and #1 realtor in the U.S. for eXp Realty in 2024. And this will be for an exclusive real estate success stories interview. Now, Chandra's going to share how he achieved $1 billion plus in sales and his approach to tech relocation and luxury investments, and a whole lot more from there. Guys, this is a masterclass in scale and strategy and execution. You do not want to miss this. Then let's take a look. Also on Friday, we're back with the Lab podcast. Now, this time we sat down with Mary Snyder, who is an expert behind a referral systems that generates 70% of her whole team's business. And she's going to break down her real relationship approach and how her key rewards program for long-term loyalty. What I can tell you is that this strategy is so unique, so different. You do not want to miss this, especially if referrals are your 2026 focus. This episode is pure gold. So guys, add them all to your calendar, tag your team, and I'll see you there.
All right, there you go. Alyssa Specht, thank you very much for keeping us up to speed on what's going on, university style. Always appreciate it. Again, I want to say thank you very much to each and every one of you. And if you could, while I'm saying the rest of this information, here's a QR code for us so you can give us a scale rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did today. If you like the show and if you want to make a suggestion, don't hesitate to throw in a suggestion there. So guys, this is the time to connect with family and holiday cheer. I hope for each and every one of you, you have the ability to connect to the people that you care about the most. Spend the time with the people that you care about the most. And of course, enjoy the holiday season, enjoy the food, stay safe, keep your family safe, and we'll see you